Alright, so hello everyone and welcome to another Path of Exile video. It has been a while, has it not? I'm sorry, there's just been way too many things going on and I've been playing Path of Exile more to just kind of wind down and relax. But anyway, what have I been doing? What's going on the screen? Well, I got kind of tired of the Guardian because I wasn't able to scale it properly and it was kind of falling off in damage and defensiveness and all that kind of stuff. It just didn't feel good as I went deeper and deeper into the delves. So I started a new character that I thought would be fun, and it was originally supposed to be like a hybrid Blight Chaos Golem Occultist using the new minion nodes, but it ended up turning into this, which is a low-life Tri-Curse Occultist that's using Volatile Dead and the new Soulwrest stuff to summon phantasms and scales its damage almost exclusively through minion damage. And I have to say, this has to be one of my favorite characters of all times. I've been having so much fun just running around doing maps and delves and all that kind of good stuff. Now, the reason why this ended up happening was because I had to switch over to Trade League because even the original idea for the character was pretty much impossible to put together in Soul Self-Found because it would take me years to get all the gear. And I also felt like playing a proper build again because I've been playing Soul Self-Found for the last few leagues and I don't have that much time, so my builds are usually kind of rough around the edges. Once I was in Trade League though, I started eyeballing the Soulwrest stuff on PoE Trade because I saw a few people playing around with it on the YouTubes. And at first I was like, well, yeah, I don't necessarily need it, I might build something with it later on once I'm done with this character, but then I looked at the price and it was like 20k, so I was like, might as well buy it, you know, I want to use it later on so I could at least try it on this character and then maybe build something around it if I think it's fun. So I ended up buying this stuff. I swapped some gems around to, you know, kind of make it work on this setup, which was not really built for it. I took it into a delve and I took it all the way down where I was with my previous setup, and it worked much better than my previous setup, even with low-level gems. Now, this kind of confused me at first, because I was like, what, this is a Blight character, how does this work? But then I realized that I'm not really scaling any damage over time or chaos damage. I had a couple of nodes here and there, but I was mostly scaling my damage through minion damage. So it doesn't really matter what kind of skill I'm using. It could be chaos, fire, lightning, phase. As I've said, it doesn't matter. This clip, by the way, is from that first delve. I was just mind blown at how well it performed there. So I was like, alright, this is the thing now, I need to do something with this. So at first I was just mapping around and then I tried Uberlap. I wasn't quite sure how well it would do and I stomped it, absolutely stomped it, and it was super easy. So I was like, alright, not bad, not bad. I just kept mapping and tweaking little things here and there, and in a couple of hours I was bomb rushing red tier maps. And it was just fan-freaking-tastic. The clear speed was insane because I have Profane Bloom from Occultist, which is scaled through the minion nodes, so when something dies and it has a curse on it and it explodes, it does a shit ton of damage to everything around it. But I felt the single target wasn't quite there. It was like good, but it wasn't like, you know, as good as I would want it to be. So I started thinking about possible fixes and I came up with two. The first one was to not use Volatile Dead and use Cremation instead, which is pretty spicy for a single target. And the second one was to buy Shavs and go low life. And since I really like the feel of Volatile Dead and not so much the feel of Cremation, I ended up buying Shavs. Now, it was a pretty shitty Shavs to begin with. I bought it for like 50 or 60 chaos, but I got really lucky. I managed to 6-socket it in like 20 jewelers and then 5-link it in 3 fusings. And 1 divine is all it took to take it from shitty Shavs that had almost minimal ES roll to actually quite decent Shavs that I think rolled at 138% ES. And at this point, that was kind of it. There was no way back. I went too far, you know, so I redid my entire gear, I redid my skill tree, redid my flasks, and all that kind of good stuff. And I'm so glad that I did, because holy shit, this character is awesome. It's a very well-rounded character. The clear speed is good, the single target is good, the defense is good, and the speed isn't too shabby either. And now let's go over the gear and the gems and kind of explain everything. So as I mentioned already, this entire build is centered around the Soulwrest staff, which triggers a level 20 summon phantasm whenever you consume a corpse. It can trigger multiple at once, and the phantasms are supported by the gems in the staff. It doesn't have to be linked, by the way. It also gives you some spell damage, cast speed, mana regen, and flat face to your minions, and whenever you consume a corpse, you and nearby allies will regenerate 5% of your maximum life per second for 4 seconds. Now, there is a neater interaction with this staff because if you put Summon Phantasm on kill into the staff, instead of the phantasms summoning extra phantasms, it will instead increase the number of phantasms you can have from 10 all the way up to 20 depending on the gem level. So that is a neat little interaction right there. Now, the phantasms I have here are supported by combustion support for the more fire damage and minus fire resistance. Then, since the phantasms are using a physical spell, I'm using control destruction for the spell damage and added fire damage, which gives them a percentage of that phase as extra fire. This is because I have fire curses. And I topped it off with greater multiple projectiles for more coverage and minion damage. Then I randomly managed to drop Heretic's Veil, which is perfect for a setup like this, so I slapped it in. It gives you +1 level of Socketed Curse Gems. Socketed Curse Gems are supported by level 22 Blasphemy. They also have 12% reduced mana reservation, and then you have some ES and maximum energy shield as well. And in the Heretic's Veil, I put Elemental Weakness with Flammability, which reduces the enemy fire resistance by a ton, and Temporal Chains for some defense. This one is very much a personal preference, so if you don't like it, you can swap it out for something else. Moving on to the shafts, where I have my Volatile dead setup. This, by the way, makes it so that your chaos damage does not bypass energy shield, so you can go low life without instantly dying to any chaos damage that would hit you. The downside here is that it doesn't have as much energy shield as a good Val Regalia, but anyway, here I have Volatile Dead, which I link to Elemental Focus, Control Destruction, Concentrated Effect, and Spell Cascade. And the sixth link here would either be Empower or Fire Penetration. Then to generate corpses for Volatile Dead, I have Spell Cascade linked to Desecrate as well as faster attacks, which I then linked to Flame Dash, and this will create more than enough corpses even for a single target. And the final set of links are Summon Stone Golem with Blood Magic, Discipline, and Clarity. This is what permanently puts me on low life because it's reserved on my health and it provides a ton of extra energy shield, all the mana regeneration that I need so far, and some extra life regen through the Golem. And as far as my accessories are concerned, they are not the best. I'm currently crafting new with fossils, but I do have a pretty decent marble amulet which provides a nice chunk of ES regen as well as a ton of resistances and some flat ES. And finally we have the passive skill tree, which is a little bit messy, I'm not gonna lie, but the idea behind it is that I wanted to prioritize number 1, energy shield, number 2, curse effectiveness, number 3, minion damage, and number 4, life regen, which is converted into energy shield regen with Zealot's Oath. And of course, since this is a low life tree, I had to pick up the low life node as well as add one careful planning jewel behind Templar, because I'm extremely dexterity starved and this is a really good way to get, 80 plus dexterity. So as you can see, if I take it out, I need 72 more dex, which is a lot, so I just have it there. And the only other big jewel is energy from within, which is on the other side of the witch. And what this does is it converts some life nodes into ES nodes, so the nearby hybrid wheel becomes a pretty spicy ES wheel. You don't necessarily need this one, you can easily do it without it. I just wanted to use it because I lost a lot of energy shield by going from one-hander and shield to staff and then dropping my Val Regalia for shafts. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say, so I thank you very much for watching as always. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Oh, by the way, there is a Path of Building link in the description, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.